2, mic check 1, 2. You're back here live with Out the Mud podcast with Mr. Out the Mud and 2 Live himself. We do not own the rights to this music. Morning, people. To all my listeners and followers out there, I hope you're tuning in and chiming in to Out the Mud. We're here live, Mr. Out the Mud himself and Mr. 2 Live. Starting out today, we're going to start out with this weather. The weather this morning in Charlotte, North Carolina, we started out with a light rain drizzle, 70 degrees, and we're going to end up with a high of 79. We're going to go into, some more action in sports this morning. Today is June 3rd, 2021. Good morning to my followers and listeners.
Good morning. Mr. Out the Mud here. Good morning, family. Last night was crazy night. A lot of games on in the world of sports. NBA, we had Washington facing the Philadelphia 76ers. Philadelphia 76ers went ahead and ended that series, winning 129-112. They ended the series 4-1. The Hawks beat the Knicks 103-89. Atlanta went ahead and won that series 4-1. So they're looking to move on and play the Philadelphia 76ers. Memphis and Utah last night also they played. Utah won 126-110. Utah went ahead and ended that series. Man, we talked a lot about that during the last couple of podcasts.
You hear me?
So the big one in from last night, 2 Live, is Dallas against the Clippers. Dallas takes the lead 3-2 over Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, 2 players, that went out. They sought the franchise sought these 2 players and traded a lot of players to bring these guys together to form this mega team, and it's not panning out. So it's not working the way, we talked about 3-headed monster.
Yeah,
it's looking like it's working out the way they planning it, but over there in LA, man, with the Clippers, I don't know. What you think, 2 Live, man? What's going on with that?
The guy, Kawhi, he might be having an off year, but, I want to talk about Paul George. They call him what, Playoff P?
Yeah, Playoff P.
That's what Mr. TNT call him, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mr.
Yeah,
Shaq.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shaq.
But I'm saying Mr. Playoff P, he's not giving you playoff production.
Oh, man. He's like he in the shell.
I don't think those guys are just, the chemistry not there.
Yeah.
With that whole thing, I don't know if it's the coach. I don't know if it's the team. Yeah. I don't know what it is, Mr. Out the Mud, but it just ain't there.
Yeah, Mr. TNT is looking for Playoff P. He might need to text him. He might need to, Twitter. He need to give him a boost or something, man. Because, like you said, we looking for the Playoff P. We've been looking for it, man. If you guys want to see the Playoff P, hit us up, leave the comments, man. Let us know how y'all think. If Mr. TNT, Shaq him, a.k.a. Shaq, if he's right about calling out Paul George. We want to see Paul George perform. What else you got in sports for us today?
But I wanted to talk about a tweet came out yesterday, man, from the minor league at the Oakland A's. They was talking about what they was getting fed before the games and how the players, you shouldn't serve your employees this. And, man, I wouldn't like this, man. Out the mud, I would definitely want at least some Subway. This look worse than you would feed a dog, man.
I wouldn't feed my dog that.
Man, it's shameful.
And for you guys, we talking about $1 billion corporation.
Yes.
We talking about the MLB is $1 billion corporation.
Yes. And this is their minor league team that's tweeting this now out the mood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, they performing for them. Basically, this is the underclassmen for them, the people that they're going to bring up once they get ready to be ready for the majors. So, guys, we want y'all to understand the minor leagues are people who are just a step up under being major league players. So, for these people to be treated this way and the food they're feeding is filth.
Yes.
It's filth.
Yes.
It really is.
Yes.
And I don't approve of it. And,
No.
you know, everybody, whoever is, a part of that or doing anything with that, they need to step up.
Yeah, and change that.
And
very
definitely
fast out the mud. Very
They
fast.
definitely do.
It's a problem with that, man. I don't even want to look at that, man. That tweet was horrible.
All right, well, we're going to finish telling y'all about these last scoreboards for the night. The game's 8 o'clock. We got Denver against Portland. And you got the late show again tonight at 10:30. It's going to be Phoenix against LeBron, man. It's LeBron. I don't know what you're going to do, but you better do something tonight.
We need the magic tonight. We need the magic. You hear me?
You got to do something.
But in later news, we're going to the birthday shout-outs. We want to give a birthday shout-out to the First Lady, Miss Jill Biden. You know, today she turned 70. We want to give a birthday shout-out to Mr. Anderson Cooper. Today he turns 54. And we want to give a birthday shout-out to Mr. Life Jennings. Today he turns 43. So, happy birthday to all you guys, and you enjoy your day, and happy birthday. Moving on to, some later topics and news. I want to talk about the Florida boy and girl that ran into a house after they ran away from the group home.
Not again.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. But we're going to get back to that. We're going to get back to that. We're going to go to break. We're going to get back to that Out the Mud. This is 2 Live and Out the Mud. The Out the Mud podcast.
Because I ain't come home last night. You slept all alone last night. I ain't pick up the phone last night. Told you I was at the studio, but the work ain't coming over here. What you say? In the mind. Why you say that? You buy me whatever I want, but all I really want is time. All I really want is you.
Back here on Out the Mud podcast, live with Mr. Out the Mud himself and Mr. 2 Live. We're back here. Mr. Out the Mud, I want to touch on a topic that, before we went to break, we were speaking on about, the 14-year-old and the 12-year-old that, was, the 14-year-old was injured, in the break-in at the Airbnb home in Florida. She raised the, firearms at, the sheriffs.
Okay. Yeah, it was a 14 and a 12-year-old boy, right?
Yes, sir.
The boy surrendered his firearm. He made the right decision.
Yes.
And the little girl, she said, no, I'm going to shoot at the officers, and she's in critical condition now.
Yeah, at this time.
Yeah,
time.
All I can tell the kids is comment. If you're having a problem, please leave us a message. Do anything you can to reach out to us if you're having problems. That was the wrong decision to make.
Yes.
Moving right along, we're going to tell you the Out the Mud of the day. Out the Mud of the day is Beauty by the Waist.
Yes, Beauty by the Waist.
If you go by their page, check it out. They got some nice beads, bracelets, and things they make. If you can, just go check them out. My daughter got some few things from them, but go ahead and go check those guys out.
We'll do. I'll do that out the Mud. Since you referring, I'll check it out.
Okay, and then other topics. Did you hear about the baby's artist cousin? I guess the guy's name is Wisdom. He had a shooting. It was a shooting in Florida, Miami-Dade County over the weekend, and they said the baby was involved, but they charged him with attempted murder.
No.
Yes.
No, I didn't hear that.
Shots were fired, and I guess they fired some shots back, and these guys, and this what happened. So that was crazy.
Man, I hope everybody's okay.
Yeah, that's what you want. But they say he has attempted murder. Man. So hope you guys get out of this, man. But guns and violence is never the way to go. Anytime. But if somebody's bringing that kind of energy towards you, I guess your feedback off that is the way you are.
Yeah, true. Now that's a true statement out there. Like we spoke on the other day. But in other news, we wanted to talk about Beyonce and Jay-Z's new vehicle, man.
Yeah, they got the most expensive car in the world.
In the world?
2 Live.
In the world?
In the world.
Whoa.
So, what can you do?
I heard about a new car. I didn't know it was the most expensive car in the world.
Yeah, it says the most expensive car in the world. That's what comes across my phone. That's what the feed I got. And so, with
You hear me?
With all this stuff going on, pandemic, I feel like with the money you guys have and you guys are making, you made, why couldn't you break that money down instead of getting that car? Which I can't tell nobody how to spend their money.
Oh no.
You can't tell nobody how to spend their money.
No, you cannot do that out the mud.
You can't do that.
No.
So, but what I'm saying is break it down. It's people in poverty. It's people living, in tents. It's people that made bad decisions, but they are in this predicament. If you can help them bring them out, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That's all I'm
That's a
asking.
true statement.
And anybody, any of my followers, listeners, and my people who's following us, give us some feedback, and we want to tell you guys, stay blessed, and we're gone.